Welcome to Couple Habit number 2. I decided to make a fifth and final video about reflections before I move on to anything else tonight. And nothing's been posted, but by the time you're watching this, it's probably been posted. It's 9:50, and this is the fifth and final video on reflection. And it's probably going to be a long video because I do have to walk dogs that are not mine, etc., etc. Now, as a person who is mixed, I have explained this time and time again, especially in these 5 videos, about how I feel racism more than most people. And by me, I know that I'm not the only person who's multicultural that feels the disdain of racism in America, or in the world in general. I tell you about my adventures in Florida. I tell you about my adventure in Canada, and how those places where, as in Canada, I didn't really have any racist issues whatsoever. And I guess that might have just been a good day for Toronto. The only racist issues that I ever witnessed there was regular Canadian versus French Canadian. I have a friend who's French Canadian and a friend who's regular Canadian. I honestly couldn't tell the difference because they're both white and they're both Canadian. So what the fuck? But that's been an ongoing saga before I ever went to Canada. And, it's not me turning a blind eye, it's just me not understanding. But every time I've gone to Canada, Indians from India, not First Nations, Indians from India with the turbans and everything, they talk to each other, and black people and everything, all nice and peacey. All the black people were there. Never once did I hear them where I was at use the N-word at all. Like, what's up, my brother, or none of that. Only using the N-word instead of my brother. They was just all just like people speaking peacefully. No racial slurs, no nothing. They had some teeny bopper Asian girls who were dressed in Asian schoolgirls, and they were probably 12 or 13 and had adult women's bodies. So it's just some amazing stuff. On my journeys to Canada, my first journey there when I was in my early 20s, I had a girl who liked me. She was 15 though. And her father liked me, and he refused to believe that I was in my 20s. And I was like, dude, I can't date your daughter. I would love to date your daughter. He's like, what, my daughter ugly? I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, dude, your daughter's far from ugly. But there's a thing called the law. He's like, what? I said, dude, your daughter's not 18. No fucking way in hell did I come to a foreign country to go to jail over some tail, dude. I really liked this daughter. I really did. I mean, she was beautiful. She's one of the most beautiful white women I ever met in my life. But again, she is 15. And just because I'm from Virginia does not make me a hick. It doesn't make me think that I'm above the law. It doesn't make me think, and did y'all not see what color I am? Which he didn't have a problem with. That was the second thing that I threw in his face. I was like, dude, first, I'm like almost 25 years old. Your daughter's 15. That shit's illegal. And secondly, you do see that I'm like a black man, right? So the first thing he said was, okay, look, we can get past that law thing. Because I'm the father. And now that I know who you are, and I respect you for telling me that, my daughter really likes you, and I don't have a problem with you. Second, young man, we don't play that black card up here. If my daughter wants to date a black man, she can date a black man, and there'll be nothing you can do about it. I said, and believe me, sir, if I was like your daughter's age, I'd be all over her like stank on shit. I said, but I'm an American, and in my country, 15 will get you 20. And he's like, funny thing, same up here. And I said, and that's exactly why I can't date your daughter. I said, it has nothing to do with her looks. I said, your daughter is drop dead fucking gorgeous. I said, and which daughter? Because he had 2 daughters. He said, well, one's 15 and one's 17. And the 15-year-old was the one that liked me. The 17-year-old had a boyfriend. He wasn't black, but she had a boyfriend. And I said, okay. Well, I can't wait like 3 years for your daughter to turn 18. God only knows if I'm going to live to see 25 myself. And if your daughter was 18, I would be the first guy at her doorstep. I promise you that. Because me and his daughter were good friends. We talked all the time. I spent the majority of my time in Canada with her. We didn't have sex or anything. She might have wanted it, and I definitely wanted it. But I was like, nope. I'm in a foreign country. I am not going to jail in Canada, buddy. My freedom was a whole lot more important to me than anything else. So, And the thing was that her father was just that fucking chill, yo. Her father was just that chill. Because her father's like, if my daughter's going to date a black boyfriend, I don't have a problem with that. And then he's like, you know, he was real chill about it. Later on that night he came and asked me, he's like, you're not all the way black though, are you? And I was like, no, not really. He's like, you like First Nations and stuff like that. I was like, well, I'm not First Nations, but I am Native American. It's like, well, even better. There are laws around that for First Nations. It's like, okay, but I'm not First Nations. I'm a Cherokee and a black and a white man from America. So yeah, I don't think Canada would be too kind with me having sex with your daughter or being in a relationship with your daughter. He's like, well, if that option ever came up, I would not have had a problem with it because my daughter loves you and I love my daughter. And I was like, well, likes. I was like, well, I thank you for that, but I would never, ever hurt a woman on purpose. I would never use a woman just for pure, solely sex. Now, that was young James talking. Now, James, I like to know where I stand. And it's usually the woman's choice. And I will tell a woman, look, if we're I learned this from my ex. Because if I would have known what was going to happen, I would have never came home from Canada to be with her in the first place. She's the reason why I'm still alive, but I had plans in Canada. We won't go there. So, this was years before I met my ex. I would have gladly been with the girl if circumstances was different. I was single, but she was still a child. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like Woody Harrison Allen, which one ever was with Sun Yi. I'm not that guy. You know, I would never ever do something with a child knowingly. And once I knew that the girl was 15, it was a done deal because we were talking, we would hold hands and everything, and we would chat, but we would never like flirt or anything like that. She would like to flirt, and I was like, nah, darling, you're a pretty girl and everything, but two things working against you right now. First off, you're white, and I don't know how the interracial thing works up here in Canada. Second off, I'm too old for you. You know, and I'm a man, so, you know, respectfully, I had to tell her, you know, I'm too old for you, so that's not really an option. And then when I had to talk with her father, because apparently after she talked to me, she left and went to go talk to her father about this. Just they were a very open-minded family, and I love them. And sadly, I can't remember their names, and I have the pen pal love note somewhere around here, because she did write me a very beautiful letter before I left to come back home. And I was like, God, I hope that girl's great. Whoever she has as a catch, you're a blessed man. You're going into a great family, and you know, you're a blessed man. Anyway, she's a very good girl. Her family was awesome. You know, they weren't racist. They were fucking awesome. Yeah, I can't put it any other way than they were fucking awesome. And she was a very beautiful girl, and her sister was a very beautiful girl. So, you know, that kind of was a thing. You know, had it been the older sister who was 17, I would have had a less chance of actually worrying about going to fuck the jail versus the 15-year-old who was a tiny bit prettier than the older sister, which that generally is the case in some cases. But I'm not one of those guys that want to throw my freedom away over a woman and then I get expedited back up to Canada because, yeah, Mr. Williams, you had sex with this girl, she's 15, you're 20-something. Nah, that shit didn't happen. We were never, ever, really, ever by ourselves anyway, so that shit never happened. Now, could have happened once I had talked to the father, but grown man, can't do it. May have wanted to, but can't do it. So as a 40-something person, I make sure we're on a level playing field. Women, if all you want from me or any man is just sex, be honest about that shit. Just say, hey, look, we're going to be friends with benefits. We'll be in a situationship until we find what we're looking for. And if by the grace of God we find each other and what we're looking for, perfect match. See, I learned this because I've always been the relationship guy, which is probably why I've never really been in a lot of relationships. I've always seeked the perfect relationship. There's no such thing. I've always tried to be the perfect guy. With my ex, I was the perfect guy. I just wasn't perfect for her. Alright? I don't hold any ill will towards my ex. This is even a video about her. But this is what I learned from that relationship. Love ain't for everybody. No. You can be the only person in the relationship and not know it. You can be head over heels in love with the person and they could care two shits about you. Which she really proved to me by not even like dumping me like a woman, not really sitting down and having a conversation with me, not letting me know what I did wrong. It just went to hell in a handbasket. So I've learned, if I'm going to mess with someone, if I'm going to date them or whatever, I'm putting all my cards on the table, right front, up in the jump. And I say, look, I've been through too much shit to get fucking hurt again. So all my cards are on the table. I need to know what you want. Life-wise, career-wise, family-wise. Because those are the only two things that's important. If we're a good match, life, whatever you want to do, I can adapt my life to it. Because I've been trying to break into this acting business for 20-something years with complete failures and very few successes. So if I got to get a job cleaning tables or cleaning stools or whatever, I don't have a problem with that. Because I'm pretty much doing that right now. If you and I both decide we don't want children, but we want each other, and we can live each other happily ever after, but we don't want kids, I can live with that. I come from 7 children. I'm the second of 7. I've had to raise kids that my dick didn't create, so I can live with that. If we decide that we want children, there is a limit. I've decided that. If she wants 5 children, we stopping at 2. If she wants 2 children, we're stopping at 2. Now, here's how this works. I don't give a damn if it's a girl or a boy, as long as it's healthy. So let's say she wants a boy, and I want 2 girls. And each time we have sex, we get 2 girls. We're done. What about a boy? Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. If God wanted us to have a boy, He would have gave us a boy. We're going to have girls. Hey, I'm just going to be outnumbered. That's all. When it comes to that time of the month, I know to go sit in the garage until y'all work that shit out. So, we're good. Just don't ask me to go buy feminine products, because I'll probably buy all the wrong shit, because I'm a man. But, I know what I'm looking for, and I know how I want my life to go. It has to go a whole lot better than what it's going right now, but I know what I want. I don't want to be rich, but I want to be well off to where I know my bills are paid. I know that if I need money, I'll have it. So when my graphic novel drops, when American Kona Weech drops from Page Publishing, all of y'all go out and buy it. I don't know how much it's going to cost, because I still have to talk to Lana about that and what picture we're going to use. I plan on calling Lana on Monday, or I'll call her the Monday after Thanksgiving. Anyway, moving on. When it comes down to this, when you reflect back in your life, do you want to regret it, or do you want to enjoy it? For 40-something years of my life, I've regretted every step. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing that no more. I want to wake up tomorrow with the sun in my eye and thank God that I have a chance to change it every day. Because I don't have children. I don't have a decent job, so I have to find a better job, or somebody needs to sign me so that I can get the frack out of here. But I can't leave until after my commitment with school is done. Now, I have my certificate in criminal justice, so I can probably get a job anywhere. It just depends on what they're hiring and how hard the job's going to be. But I don't really want to do that. I really don't want to do police science. But I have to have a job. So, I don't have a problem doing that. But I'd much rather be talking to y'all and getting paid for it. Being in front of the camera is where I'm truly alive. When I'm making martial art videos, I'm truly alive. When I'm talking to y'all like I am right now, I'm truly alive. And I am happy. Now, as for sponsors, I don't know how to do that. As for charging y'all, I don't want to do that. So if I had sponsors, that wouldn't even be if Bang called me, or Bing, the drink that's out west, and I've never had it, so I don't know. If Kill Clip or somebody is hey, we like you. Let's give you a job and see what you can do with this shit. Hey, cool. We can do that, because I'm down with that. And they also sponsor my boys at McDojo Life. So, I'm definitely down. I mean, as long as I can drink it. But I don't know what's in it, and I don't want any drugs in my system. I'm slowly against all drugs. Maybe Advil. I do Advil and I do Motrin because I suffer from chronic back pain. But it has to be intense pain for me to actually use it. Otherwise, I'll suffer through it. I'll suffer through it. Which is what put me on hold for making videos the other day, because the dog snatched me off the porch the wrong way, and I either landed wrong. I didn't fall on my back, but my back just like something tweaked, and it hurt like hell. So I had to go to bed. I took a shower. The massage of the back helped me a little bit. But after I got to sleep, I got on the heat pad. Didn't help. Cut it up high. Didn't help. Took some Advil plus the heating pad. Didn't help. I think I got maybe 3 hours of sleep Wednesday night. Maybe. Because I was in that much pain. So yeah, I definitely would love to have sponsors. I don't know how to do that. I would love to have a job with Marvel. I know I'd have to give up the cussing, and that's something I've been trying to do anyway, so that's not going to be a problem. And I probably wouldn't make as many videos as I do now, because if I'm lucky, I'd be actually working in one of those suits back there where I would be doing what I love to do. Alright, now I'm definitely going to need an acting coach, because again, as I made in the other 4 videos prior to this one, teach me my cues, teach me to know when to talk, how many breaths do I have to take before I speak, that kind of thing. Now, I want to get back on track about how mixed people feel racism worse than everything else. Alright, so, as you know, I had 102.3 people in here. One of my followers specifically left me because of Trump. Alright? And that follower is always welcome back. He's also somebody I actually know in real life. And I don't have a problem with him. He has a problem with me. Alright? And I'm sorry. My problem is really simple. Alright? Trump's a racist. Sorry. I'm gonna say it. No. He doesn't like my Asian people. In other words, what affects the Sioux tribe affects the Apache, affects the Hopi, affects the Shaolin, affects the Cheyenne, affects the Seminole, which affects the Creek, which affects the Rappahannock and the Tappahannock and the Cherokee, which is part of me, etc., etc. And then he doesn't like Chinese people, which I have plenty of Chinese friends. So, that's not good. And everyone else who just tends to put their thumbs in their ear and shield their eyes from the other stuff that flies out of his mouth, it's a problem. Is it Civil War worthy? Not to me, because honestly, there's a few things that I would never do because of a politician. 1, I'm not going to fight my brother or any friend that I have because they support Trump. I might ask you why. And I would prefer you to be honest with me. It's like, hey, okay, James, well, truth be told, I'm actually a fucking racist. Well, James, my wallet's thicker with Trump in charge. I don't have to work as hard with Trump in charge. But what about people like me, who have to work extra hard no matter who the fuck is in charge? I've been working hard since Obama. I've been working hard since Obama was in office the first time and the second time. I've been working hard since George Bush was in there. Not the first one. The only time that I didn't have to work that hard was when Clinton was in office. When I was like 18 to 24. I didn't have to work that hard. But when I had 2 jobs, I had money. I had money. When Bush and Clinton were gone and Obama came in, I had no money. I lost 1 job. I joined the military to get more money. I have no money. Trump's in. I have no money. And everybody else has money, but everybody else isn't cleaning toilets for a nonprofit that can't really afford to pay me. TJ Maxx fired me because John offered me a job for $10 an hour, and then they reneged on it. And TJ Maxx, the management didn't like me because I was too honest. And rather than settle this problem, because John told me I had to take these 2 days to come to the class, which was 2 Fridays. TJ Maxx didn't need me, but yet they wouldn't let me take the days off, so I had to put in my 2 weeks. I was kind of forced out. So then, because it was a verbal 2 weeks, I can no longer work for the companies that own TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods. So my managers at TJ Maxx, Mr. R and Mrs. V, totally fucked me. He's white, she's Filipino. Yeah. I think the problem is that I was probably more Asian than she was and too black for Mr. Him. But, when I first got the job, I was exceptionally shy. I didn't talk to anybody for about a month. And then me and Jorge was pretty good friends. And then after Jorge left, I came out of my shell a little more, talked to more people. But then all the people that I liked started leaving. And the one manager that was really, really good, she left. And the other manager, who wasn't really good, she was a mean ass, but she was stealing from the company and she got fired. See, her getting fired is acceptable. Me getting fired because I wanted to get a better job, but still keep the job I had because I loved working at TJ Maxx, that didn't work out. I'm over it, but I'm still angry as hell about it because I did try to go to Marshalls. I explained everything at Marshalls and I still couldn't get a job there. Doing the same damn thing. Stock. Wasn't that difficult. Unload the truck, go home. Takes maybe an hour and a half to unload the truck. Got to do some policing the store, sweeping, cleaning, that kind of thing. Some of the Army also prepared me for it very well, but couldn't get a job. They wouldn't give me the job. So I can probably go and apply for them now because it's been almost 10 years or better, but there's probably no guarantee that my file's gone. They'll be like, yeah, we remember you. You got fired from TJ Maxx because you didn't put in a written exit plan. You just gave them a verbal 2 weeks and stuff like that. And when I tried to go back to get my job from TJ Maxx, it's like, no, you put in your 2 weeks. You just didn't write it down. Because you didn't write it down, we don't have to hire you back. We counted that off as a walk-off. I was like, but you told me. Yeah, exactly. We counted it as a walkout. So Miss V and Mr. R gave me the finger with no Vaseline. Just like gasoline and some oil. He had the gasoline, put it on her finger, and she jabbed it right up my arse. And I've never been able to go back to work for them since. And I think they're still in charge. Who knew? Anyway, no ill will, what's done is done. But the thing was that John pretty much told me that I had the job until the day I had to come in there to take the CDL licenses. And then they decided at 7:59. No, excuse me. Making the wrong time. I had to be there by 6 o'clock. No. Making a mistake again. I had to be there by 7 a.m. on the dot, and I was there by 7:55. 7:55, I was at the door. I was explaining what was going on. At 7:57, I was walking back to my car. At 6 o'clock on the dot, I was rolling out of the parking lot because they told me they were only going to hire people who already had their CDLs. Although 3 weeks before that, they told me that I had the job, and they were going to pay for my CDL classes, and they were getting taken at John. And all hell broke loose because my brother was working there too, and they just could have told him to tell me. They never called me. They never said anything until that day. When I got there, had my pen, had my paper, anything that I needed, my ID, birth certificate, driver's license, everything that I needed was right there. And then they told me at the door, we're only hiring people who already have CDLs. That's it. And I was like, y'all just cost me my job at TJ Maxx, dude. And y'all didn't call me. Y'all got my phone number. My brother works for y'all. Y'all couldn't tell him. Sorry, dude. And then I had to walk off. And don't think that I wasn't mad. I walked away with a smile on my face and I said, you know what? I should beat these motherfuckers' ass. But I thought about my freedom. So I jumped in my little yellow car and I rode the fuck home. I was mad as hell, but I rode the fuck home. And I think I might have broke that pen. I think I broke that pen when I got in the car. I'm pretty sure I broke that damn pen. It's one of my favorite pens. It's one of these Pilot pens. The real thin tip. The only kind I will buy is Pilot pen. Pilot, you should give me a job. Or be a sponsor. Anyway, I wrote my first graphic novel with a Pilot pen. A whole set of them. And a couple of gel pens for the guys. But anyway. So, how you deal with loss is a very interesting thing. And mixed people, we deal with loss just like everyone else. It sucks. When my mother's dad died, we had different colored people at the funeral. And I was 6. So, they all looked the same to me. But they were different colored people. As I reflect on it now, they were definitely different colored people. There were a few white people there. But mostly there were black people. But there were a few white people there. There was clearly one side of the other of my grandfather's genealogy. And, and then there was his kids. And, again, I was barely out of diapers. I was 6. So, it's a different ball game. And then less than 2 years that my Uncle Doc died. So I was a little bit older. There were only black people that I could remember at that funeral. And as my grandmother Sarah died, there was only black people at that funeral that I could remember. And you don't remember every face you see at a funeral when you're a kid. No. But you remember the dead. No. That face never leaves you. Fucking on my dad's side, when my dad's dad died, it was only black people, mostly his children. When my Uncle Bruce died, they were mostly black people, and except for my Aunt Hook's people, who were very light from her side of the family. My dad died. My Aunt Hook was there. My Aunt Ruth and all of his sisters that were alive were there. Kinda there. The sisters that could make it to the cremation, rather. But my dad got cremated. My stepsister was there. Her children were there. I love them. And everything, and they were white. They're still white. But they're still my family. Even though we haven't talked in like 3 or 4 years. I send Jen messages every now and again checking on her kids because she just had a fourth child, and this little girl, I think. And I hope that they're doing well. And Jen, if you're watching, way to go. Eric, you better be behaving because you're the only boy now. So you have to, beat up your sister's boyfriends. I mean, you have to beat them up really badly. Don't do that, Eric. We don't want you to be like me, Eric. We don't want you to be raising other people's kids. Anyway, love you, Eric. And Jen. And Harmony. And Rennie. I don't know the fourth child's name. And Angel. That's my stepsister. And, oh dear. I have forgotten your name. Angel's second daughter. I don't know why your name just slipped me, darling. I'm really sorry about that. What the frack? This is why you need to stay in touch with family, so that this shit doesn't happen while you're recording. Oh, damn, what the hell is her name? And I done forgot her father's name. Just like that. Wow. I really got to make some phone calls. Well, anyway, Jen, tell your sister I'm sorry I forgot her name, and her father. Tell them I forgot his name too. I remember them. I still love them. My brain just shot right out. But anyway, the whole thing where Jennifer's really been the only one that's really been keeping in touch with me. Angel and her youngest daughter and I had a bit of a falling out over my dad's ashes, which Angel and them have now, so there really shouldn't be any issue, but they just never called me back. I'm not mad at them. They're mad at me. It's okay. Still love them, though. Nothing's changed. Not for me, anyway. I still love them. Maybe I might remember the name after I get off this video. I think I definitely should send you a message now that I forgot the names. But yeah, hopefully they're all good. They're in Richmond. I love them. I just haven't had the means to go down. I haven't had the reason to go down. And when I went down to go cosplay, I probably should have swung by, and I just didn't. But also in our defense, I was with someone else, and we were going to cosplay to do Star Wars and dress up as the Scarlet Spider and have some fun. But they're still my family. I still love them. JW. Now, I'm not going to give y'all her last name. Jennifer is her first name. Love you, Jen. Anyway, that's my family, and they are white. Miss Molly was my stepmother, and she was more of a mother to me than my real mother lots of times, especially on certain issues. My mom's still alive. I love my mom, but Miss Molly was more of a mother to me than my mom, in more than enough occasions. I'm sorry. Nobody likes a truth teller. I'm a truth teller. You see why I don't have any friends. Not a lot of friends. But anyway, the friends I do have, I hold dear. Very, very dear. Family, too. So, and most of my friends are more family than my family. So, you can't help the family you're born in, but you can create a better one. So, that being said, we're moving on. Before I tear up. I've been through a lot. 47 years, a lot of things that can go right. Wish that they would go, that was my stomach growling. Wish they would go right for me. And my stomach shouldn't be growling. I just had like mad chicken and like honey mustard. I should be great. It was from Chick-fil-A, and then I had more chicken that I cooked myself. I should be fine. But anyway, you know, I will say, you know, if everything would have just worked out the way I planned it, if the studio that came to Petersburg would have worked out the way I planned it, fame wouldn't even have been a concept because y'all would know I would be famous, but I would still be the same guy. I probably wouldn't cuss as much, but I would still be the same guy. But it is what it is, and I take it day by day and I pray. You know, I do miss my family in Richmond. I would go down and see them, but I just don't have any money. I have absolutely no money after traveling. I'm saving up money for the trip that I'm going to have with my brother Courtney for cosplay, which I need to contact tomorrow to see exactly how much I need for the hotel plus the ticket. So that way when March comes, I'll be set. It's set for March the 4th. I mean the 1st, I think. So we'll see how that works out. It just depends on the weekend and whatever that's going to happen. I'll have the money by then, that's for damn sure. But I'm also working on a book novel. So, you know, money's tight. And this wouldn't happen if people who owed me money, the Fantastic Four, would actually have paid me back. They've had years to do so and just pretty much said, fuck it. That's how that works. Now, moving on from that. Lessons learned. 1, stay in touch with family. And 2, never live Fanny. Never live Fanny. Never lend Fanny, really. Blah, 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 blah. Never live. Damn! The Lord does not want me to deliver this message. Never lend family money. Alright. Gotcha. Anyway, never lend family money. Keep it for yourself. Because family assumes that because we're family, we don't have to pay you back. Wrong. Because we're family, you should be working your ass off to pay me back. Because if we weren't family and you bought it from somebody else, you might be sleeping with the fishes, see? Anyway, moving on. Now, alright. When my great-grandmother Ada died, I was 12 and I didn't get to go to her funeral. So I don't know who was there. When my grandmother Bay died and I was dating my ex wouldn't come with me to the funeral. Well, there you go. That's signs that she definitely doesn't want you in her life. She won't go to you in your worst moment. So, therefore. Now, Bay was a character, I can tell you that. Corn pancakes. Or pancakes with corn in it. Not for me. Probably not for you. But yeah. Then, you know, I've faced a lot of death, and some family members died and I didn't know they were dead. When my Uncle Tony died, you know, I had just spoke to him, like literally the week before he died. Like I literally had just spoke to him. And he was fine. And 2 weeks before he died, he had his leg amputated due to diabetes. And nobody told me. I never knew. Until I actually came to visit and his leg was off. And I was like, something you want to talk about? It's like, oh, nobody told you? Yeah, I had to have my leg amputated. It's like, oh, good to know. And then he was gone. So I talked to my Aunt Myrrh. And my Aunt Myrrh had recovered from a cold and told me she was fine. 2 days after she told me she was fine, she died. I didn't make it to that funeral. That hurt my feelings. But I also didn't make it to my Aunt Teen's funeral and didn't make it to my Aunt Peewee's funeral because I didn't fucking know that they were dead. And then when I found out, I was a little bit pissed off because I was like, okay, you know, why did nobody like call me and tell me? Why did my dad not call me and tell me? Anyhow, after that, you know, I was just flabbergasted at things because, you know, when you're the last to know, you are literally the last to know, which also sucks ass. No. And the thing with that is, you know, I love all my aunts and uncles on both sides of the family. It's just every now and again, it wouldn't hurt if you like dropped a line in to let me know what was going on. And that was the thing. I was on a need-to-know basis, and I clearly didn't need to know that my aunts had died. or that my uncle had his leg amputated. And when my Uncle Bruce died, I did get a line on that because my dad had called me because my dad was still alive at the time. My dad died a year after my Uncle Bruce died, so that was like really fucking painful because Woody Goody was a dude, man. Now, the thing was, when you're dealing with death and you have different colored people in your funerals, it's a sight. So let's go into a happier note about being mixed. I'm going to talk about first dates, first colleges, shit like that. No, I'm not. I will tell you about going to school and trying to not offend people. Let's start with that. So I was in an English class, and it was a history class. It was either an English or a history class. The teacher also had the reverse fade going on. He was a good guy. And I couldn't remember, we had these projects. And so as a martial artist, I don't have to do much research on what my project was going to be, which was about karate and the martial arts and shit. But I had some Asian cats in class. So first I had to talk to the teacher. And I said, look, I got to do some, I want to do this report about martial arts. He said, oh, cool. I like martial arts. How long you been studying? So I got into all that. It's like, I can put all this stuff in a report. The report had to be like 13 pages long. And it had to be, we had to do a discussion after the report. So you have like 5 minutes in front of everybody. So you talk about what your paper is about. You don't read the paper, but you talk about what your paper is about. Your paper had to be 13 pages long. You talk about it double spaced, and you also had to bring in a show and tell thing. So the teacher had got permission for me to bring in a sabatu or a borkin, and that was the easy part. I had the letter from security in the school and all that stuff. But the hard part was I had to talk about Japan. And before we got this report off the ground, because once I knew what I was going to type, without even the teacher's permission, I typed up my paper that night. The 13 papers, done. And it wasn't shit. So when I talked to the teacher about it, he's like, all right, well, you have some Asian students. You probably want to go and talk to them to see how they feel about you doing this report so that you can actually do this report without offending anybody. So there was 3 dudes and 1 chick that was Asian. All right. So the 3 dudes, they were from, 2 was Filipino and 1 was from Vietnam. Quo was fucking Korean, excuse me. It was 3 dudes and 1 chick. Quo was Korean, and the other 2 dudes was either Filipino and Vietnamese. I'm all mixed up on where they were from. And the girl, who I thought was Asian, was actually Mexican. So, this was the awkward-ass conversation. So I talked to the guys first, because it's easier to approach a dude when you're a dude than it is to approach a chick when you're a dude. Especially a hot chick. Any chick. Because all chicks are hot. On some level or another. It just depends on who's the eye beholding. So, I'm talking to the 3 dudes first, because it's like, all right, look, I'm doing this report on martial arts, and it's really about karate. There's going to be some Japan bashing in it, and I need to know if you guys are Japanese, and how do you feel about that? Do you guys not want to be in the room when I do the report? I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to piss anybody off. And so Cole was like, martial arts? You do martial arts? Yeah. You don't like type. I was like, yeah, I get that a lot. So Quo was okay. The other 2 guys were okay. And then I had to talk to the girl. And this was the most whacked out, fracked up, evil-ass conversation that ever came possible with me. I never saw this shit coming. So, I went over to her last, and I said, can I talk to you for a minute? She's like, why? And she was a little bit snotty, but most hot chicks are a little snotty, No offense, hot chicks, but y'all kind of are a little snotty. Anyway, so she's like, high maintenance. And I asked her, I said, all right, look, I don't want to offend you, but I'm going to do this report tomorrow about Japanese people. And I don't know what Asian you are, and I don't want to offend you, so I want to know if you're going to want to stay in the room when I do the report, or if you're going to want to leave, because the report's typed up and ready to go. and I have permission to bring the weapon to school to show y'all the weapon, etc., etc. This is about the time Columbine also was about to happen. And so she looked at me with a twinkle in her eye, took a deep breath, and angrily came back out at me and said, "Do your damn report. You look more Chinese than I do." And my mouth dropped. And in my head, I'm thinking, I know this bee did not just do that. But she was so pretty that in my mouth came out as, "Okay, beautiful girl, if that's the way you want to play it, then I'm going to Japanese bash the hell out of Japan." And so I had commenced to go do my report the next day, and needless to say, all 4 Asian people stuck around. And I didn't really Japanese bash, but the report was about karate and how it got into the military and World War II, etc., etc. And nobody was offended, and I got a B+. It's like the highest grade I had at Piedmont at that time. And I was like, wow. And the reason why I got a B+ was because you're supposed to be up there for 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a lot shorter than you think. I was up there for 7 minutes because I also did a martial art demonstration on the Boakin and how it was used, which I guess the teacher in his brilliance decided that overkill was a thing. So that kind of killed that. But I got a B+, so I can't complain. I got a B+. But history and English have always been my 2 strongest subjects. And I think because of my reading disability, I push myself harder in those 2 classes because I don't like to read. But if I got to do something that's important, that involves reading, you have to be able to read to succeed. And so I did that. Got my B+ and went on. No, never saw any of them again, except for I had Quo in another class. And then I met Hannah and her brother, who were both from the Philippines. And I had a crush on 2 Hannahs at that time. There was tall Hannah, and then there was the Hannah from Piedmont, who was not tall. But her brother's name was Joe, and he set me up really good because Hannah had no interest in me whatsoever. But Joe set me up good. Screw you, Joe. Anyway, Joe set me up really, really good. And me and Hannah had a chat, just like, honestly, I don't like you. It's like, well, your brother said, well, my brother's a lying piece of crap, and you're a nice guy and all, but you are nowhere ever going to be my type. I don't like people who do martial arts, and I don't like mixed guys. I say, okay. I say, how do you know I'm mixed? He says, well, you're definitely not Filipino. And I said, you're definitely right. I said, I'm actually part Native American and black. She said, you're part black? I didn't think you were part black. I was like, oh, thanks. And we became fairly decent friends. And then I went after the other Hannah, who became a teacher somewhere, like Jack Jewett or some shit. But she had a boyfriend, so that ended that. I don't go knocking down other people's doors. If they have boyfriends, off limits. No. I'm a strong believer in not interfering in someone's relationship. If they break up, then she's mine. But if they were happy together, there's no way in hell I'm coming in between that, because I've had that happen to me so many times. I've had so many women cheat on me, it ain't even funny. So that's another thing. Let's go there. We're gonna go there. We're going to go to reflections on dating while mixed. Alright. So, this is going to be fun for y'all. Not so fun for me. Almost every girlfriend I've had, except maybe a few, has cheated on me. And it doesn't matter what color they were. All of my black girlfriends cheated on me, without a doubt. I've had maybe 2 white girlfriends, and yeah, they cheated on me too. Only 1 Asian girl, not counting my very first crush, who was half Eskimo and back in kindergarten. She didn't cheat on me, she moved away. Sometimes I wonder if she was still really a person. Sometimes I figure she might have been a figment of my imagination. Because wherever Jillian is, I swear, when I searched for the class book from back when I was in kindergarten, she's not in that motherfucker. And I know we took pictures together. So, but she's not in there, so maybe she was a figment of my imagination. Okay, so one of my first black girlfriends, Emily. Emily did dumb shit just to piss me off, and she definitely cheated on me. The only other black girl that I was with, Tutu, she didn't cheat on me, she moved away. Um, then I go down the line. I get to like middle grade school. I have my 2 summer romances. The second summer romance almost got me killed, which stopped me from dating black chicks in general. The first one, she brought her new boyfriend on my porch, and I taught him how to fly. Now this is just going to be the short version of this. Then I was with this white girl, and she was supposed to be taking one for the team with me, and I can't remember her name, but she was not interested in me in the least. And my boy B, he set me up with her. Hell, he set me up with the other one too, but this one was the first one he set me up with, I think. It might have been the second one. Yeah, it was the second one. Because the first one was in high school. He set me up with an Amy. We're going to call her last name B. I'm not going to put her whole business out there. She was the second Amy in my life, but the first one to break my heart. The third Amy broke my heart and my soul. But the second one, the first one stabbed me in the back with a pencil. And my white shirt became blood red. That's a long story, but that was more like a crush. I had a crush on her. She was blonde hair, blue eyed, she was tall, she was beautiful. And I was short. And then she plunged that pencil in my back. Hi, Amy. So the other Amy, this one brought her boyfriend to my job, which is what I told her in one of the other videos, and I couldn't get fired. So, yeah. And they fed him on my meal ticket. And that really fucked me up. And then the last Amy, who really destroyed my heart and soul, she was Asian. But she didn't cheat on me. We had a really decent understanding. We didn't cheat on each other. We were doing pretty good. And when I decided to get those rings over there, yeah, right there next to the stapler, yeah, over there somewhere. Okay, they're back past the whiteout. Anyway, they're still up there. So, she just, no reason whatsoever, you can't come see me anymore. Relationship's overrated. 1021 King Street. Wrote a song about it. Been there, done that. So now I'm very cautious. I have trust issues with girls. I have abandonment issues with girls. I learned a few things in life before her. You can't stop a girl from cheating if she's going to cheat, just like a girl can't stop a guy if they're going to cheat. And that's the thing. This is why I don't believe in cheating. I don't give a damn who you are. You are in control. Unless I am doped up, and I don't do drugs, so that's like a complete impossibility. So unless I'm drugged, unless someone slips me GHB, I'm never going to cheat on anybody. Now, if my girlfriend and I are swingers and we have an understanding, that's not cheating. That's the relationship that we're in. But if I'm not in that relationship, I'm in a committed relationship, I'm in that motherfucker for the long haul. Which, with my ex, that's what I was in it for, which is what I told her when I came back from Canada. Now, what she should have said right then and there was, no, James, we're just going to be friends with benefits. 2 years of fucking, and then get to trucking. That would have been fine, because I would have been able to evaluate where this relationship was going to go. Those rings would have never got paid for, and I would have went on about my business. No, I fell head over heels in love, and I let her know that every day. I thank God every day. And then one day, we went to go see Twilight, and the relationship was done. She slapped me twice the entire relationship, and I not once raised my voice at her. Not once. Raised my hand at her and shook it and said, I don't know who you were with before me. I will never put my hands on you unless it's consensual sex. And 2, I would never put my hands on you, period, because I am not that man. I was raised not to hit women. It was a lot of shit, and, I was fixing to marry. Now, the truth of the matter is, I don't know what broke us up. I'm never going to know. But I'm not going to worry about it anymore. I spent too much time doing that shit. But the point being made is, when you are in a relationship with someone, there's 2 things that works for me. 2 things. Honesty. That's the first thing. Honesty. You got to be honest. If you can't be honest with me, we can't be in a relationship. I don't give a flying fuck if you're hurting my feelings, and if you're gonna cheat, be honest. Now, we can figure out what I did wrong to make you take that route, or you cannot cheat. Me, you ain't got to worry about me cheating. Nobody wants me. Not well. Let me rephrase that. People don't want me until I get in relationships, because that's how that works. Because when I was with my ex, her roommate's friend Fong, who magically disappeared after my ex and I broke up, never showed up ever. But while I was together, oh, Fong was flirting hard. And had I not been an honest and loyal man, Fong would have got the business. But Fong magically disappeared. Like, magically. Now, my ex and her roommate had the same name, so there was two Amy's in the house. Fong was visiting the Amy that's Vietnamese. Well, my Amy was Korean. But you might as well say she was white because she was raised by white people because she was adopted. Anyway, that was way too much information for y'all to process, and hopefully she's not watching this so that I don't get a ticket for telling the truth. Because she sent me to the court for 2 love songs and 2 text messages. Of all things. I could understand if I was beating her ass, but I never put my hands on her. No. People do dumb shit. Anyway, that being said, hopefully she's well. I have no ill will towards her. I hope she's fine. So, I have trust issues because of this. I have trust issues because I put everything I had into that relationship. Because I was 36 and she was 28. And I just knew that this was the one and I was going to be marrying her and finally being happy. Yeah. Can we say pipe dreams don't come true? They just delude you. Alright. So moving on, I've dated other girls. I've got catfish because of another girl who was Asian from the Philippines. She took me for the bulk of my fucking inheritance. That's my fault. Because I shouldn't have been so stupid. Because I didn't believe it could happen to me. Because I believed that when you watch Dr. Phil, you learn shit. And every time this happened to somebody on Dr. Phil, they were always white. And it was always somebody from fucking Nigeria. So whenever somebody tried to get me from Nigeria, it's like, nope. You're not going to do that shit to me because it's from Nigeria. Now, from the Philippines, on the other hand, this girl sent me pictures. We shared pictures. I didn't know how to video chat at the time for Facebook. My dad had just died. I paid off all the bills that I could pay. I bought what I needed for me. And then I basically was going to buy a wife. Alright? Because at how I look and how I saw myself, ugly man, nobody wants me. At least I can pay for a wife to get her from some poor country to get her here, and we'll have some kind of life. Yeah, that shit went to hell in a handbasket. And she made me look like the biggest liar. Her name was Nicole something. I don't know what the fuck her last name was, but I'm hoping that karma works itself out. So again, I have trust issues. Then I met another girl. Pretty much the same thing was trying to happen. So I cut that off before I lost any more money. And then I gave my brother money. And then I was broke. I also lent some cousins some money. And then I was broke. And I've been kicking myself in the ass ever since. So online dating, it's a fantasy. Fuck that shit. Somebody actually on Instagram tried to use my crush to get me money. So I had to warn my crush. And I would rather lose my crush in real life than pay some hustling son of a bitch money. So my crush is easy. So y'all know her. Posters over there. I contacted her. Now I didn't DM her or PM her or whatever, but I follow her on Facebook. So I sent her the shit that he sent me. And he stopped sending me shit and deleted that account. And she posted up on her Facebook account that everybody, this, and this, these people are not me. If they're asking you for money, don't send them. But if you want to join my top tier, you can do that. And I told her when I get my money straight, after my book deal drops, I'll join her top tier. But it's easy if you're listening. I would much rather be your husband than just a regular fan. I know she's never going to see this shit, so I'm not worried. So therefore, I am praying though. But therefore, I've been through some shit. I've been through some shit. So, and let's not talk about the hip replacement and the military shit. Let's not even go on that route, because that's something I'm really not really ready to share with people, because I never wanted to leave the military outside of a body bag. But that's just me. I think my depression came because I got an honorable discharge when I rather had caught a bullet. That's just me. Because once a soldier, always a soldier. I never wanted to leave the fucking army. I had nothing to come back to. Didn't have a girlfriend. Don't have kids. All I have is the army. You know? And I wasn't the only one that went in there with that, you know. A lot of guys, when I was in Bravo, it's like, you're 37 years old. Why the fuck are you here? And I would tell them, because anything is better than what I left. I say, what? I said, I'm 37 years old. I'm the only one in here who doesn't have a girlfriend, who doesn't have a wife. My family pretends to love me. You know, if they really loved me, I wouldn't be here. I would have actually had the life I wanted. But that's not how it worked out. So, therefore, I found family in the Army. I found a lot of family in Bravo. Maybe not Drill Sergeant White. Maybe not Drill Sergeant Stoltz so much. Okay, definitely not Drill Sergeant Stoltz. But Drill Sergeant Robbins, Drill Sergeant White, First Sergeant. You know, nobody from golf, especially Drill Sergeant Walsh, because I really wanted to break his fucking neck. 6 foot tall Chinese guy. You really need to get fucked up. I'm sorry. It's not the way I should feel, but that's the way I feel. So, you know, I refused training, found myself in Delta. Now I found family in Delta. I found family in Delta Force. Did you wouldn't believe. Drill Sergeant Amisqua, a.k.a. Aztec Warrior. Drill Sergeant Armbird. Loved him. Drill Sergeant Haynes. Definitely loved him. Everybody in fucking Delta, man. First Sergeant Farisco or Captain or whatever. Loved him, yo. All of Bravo. All of Delta. Delta was my home, yo. If I had to say anything, if I could go back to the military, I would love to go back to Delta. Now, I didn't have too many issues with people in Bravo, except like that dude from New York who just thought he was a badass, but he won't. Most people from New York aren't really badasses. They're really kittens. But, you know, some of them are badasses, but this guy wasn't a badass because he wouldn't have kept talking all that shit. And that's the difference between being a badass and actually thinking you're a badass. Badasses don't do all that fucking talking. I've encountered a few badasses. They've never come back to fuck with me. Because I'm not bad, but the bad don't fuck with me. Because I ain't going out by myself, you know. That's how you know somebody's a badass or not. Now, when I got to Delta, though, God, man. I love all those guys in Delta. Every fucking one of them. And I hope that they're all out there doing well. Some of them probably coming home by now. And then Fusco and Lowe from Bravo. Those are my brothers. Those are my brothers. I have no idea where they are, but Fusco, Lowe. Much love to y'all, man. I love you guys, man. I never wanted to fucking lead the Army. Never wanted to fucking lead the Army. I would have retired in a body bag had I not got fucked up and got this fucking hip replacement. I was staying. I cried when I got discharged. I literally cried. I tried to tell Drill Sergeant Borge, probably not pronouncing his name right. I said, can't you just send me back day one, yo? I'll go back to processing. They can stick those needles back in my arm as long as I can come right back down here to fucking Delta. I'm Delta to the bone. And I didn't want to go home. And he said, I'm sorry, man. I can't do nothing for you. Bullets and beans cost money and you're going home. And I think at the airport it teared up a little bit. Nobody saw it. On the plane, I teared up a little bit. Nobody saw it. On the ride home with my mom, I teared up a lot. She didn't see it. I didn't let not one fucking tear come out my eye until I got into this room and shut that door. Called my dad, you know. Told him I was home. Didn't want to be home, you know. Said, get in the car, come down and see me. So, went to sleep for a day or so. Came down to see him. I also started having some problems. So, we went to McGuire. I explained the situation. Like, oh, well, you're a vet. Do you have health insurance? I said, man, I don't have health any damn thing. It's like, all right, so we'll set you up. And they put me in. Not too long after that, had some issues. But it weren't really that bad, you know. Stomach pain. They gave me all this fucking medicine. Set me up with Dr. Sargent. Then the suicide stuff. They set me up with Dr. Bishop. So, that was cool. Then I got off. Me and Dr. Bishop had a great plan. I still go by the plan. So, we're good. Dr. Bishop is great. And we have Less talks now, but we still have talks. But I don't really think I need them because I'm good. I don't have suicidal thoughts or anything anymore. I found reasons to live. Thank God for cosplay and Courtney Monroe. Thank you guys, man. And then, filming whenever I'm in front of this camera, man. This thing keeps me alive. Y'all have no idea how much this keeps me alive. And then Mass Effect. No, Andromeda and the Saga, which the Legendary Edition is coming soon. And, it just want to be happy. Filming makes me happy. Even if I have no viewers at all, filming makes me happy. And this thing's gone over the hour mark, so we're going to hurry up and wrap this up. So, I've gone through some serious shit. I do miss the Army because I didn't get to serve the way I wanted to, which is what led to depression because I had no intention of coming home. You couldn't tell me I wasn't a soldier. You couldn't tell me I wasn't coming home. You could tell me anything except for I was going to come home. And I was like, nah, I'm going out this bitch. I got nothing to lose. Don't have a girlfriend, don't have kids, don't have a legacy. No one gives a shit about my kung fu. I'm a soldier. I'm going to die a hero out of zero. Yeah, well, that went wrong. But anyway, I don't want to regret no more of my life. And that's why I'm going after this acting thing full charge. I'm keeping in reality. I am staying in school for police science and criminal justice. I do live in reality. I'm going to do cosplay as long as Courtney will have me. And I'm going to make it or I'm going to die trying. But I'm not going to die on my knees taking care of more kids that's not mine. I'm not going to continue to take care of pets that's not mine. And I'm going to bust my ass to achieve my goal. Thanks for watching. It's Comfort Epic number 2. BC and you. And it didn't stop. At a minute and 30.